pressure and intimidation can be forced upon anyone and anywhere, no matter your views, gender, or age. It doesn't matter where you are from, your race, or even name. Harassment can affect you. Everyone here today can become a victim of harassment or have possibly experienced some form of harassment. It is a serious crime that is mishandled and not reported every time it happens, which weakens its case. Although cases may not always be reported, I know of someone who wishes to stay anonymous, who has been harassed and handled the situation appropriately. Hearing her story made my interest spike. With this, my sense of harassment developed and I did some investigating on the topic. After doing detailed research over it, I realized how dangerous harassment can be and the dangers that come from it. It also can have a tremendous effect on how people see the world. After the incident, to help me better understand harassment, I will inform you of the types of harassment, the effects they have on a person, and the proper steps to dealing with them appropriately. Harassment has a wide range of forms that is constantly changing its approach depending on the person. Knowing the different types of harassment is the first step to defend oneself against it. Due to its importance, it alerts you to understand if you have been harassed or how a situation could play out. According to Jasper M. book, Harassment in the Workplace, Harassment, the Facts About Sexual Harassment pamphlet, harassment can be direct and to the point, or it can be indirect and discreet. Harassment has different forms in the aspect of physical, forceful, leering, and sexual content. The causes and forms of harassment are wide-ranging and complex. The behavior may be offensive to one person and inoffensive to another. Unintentional or misinterpreted behavior may cause feelings of harassment. The most popular and reported form of harassment is sexual harassment. Most often it happens within the workplace between employees. Most cases involve unnecessary touching, such as on the shoulder or a brush against someone. Also, jokes of a sexual nature, inappropriate use of suggestive visual material, and direct approaches asking for sexual favors in return for positive academic assessment or promotion. Other types of harassment include racial and personal harassment that deals with questionings about origin and threatening gestures. This also includes poking at someone's personal circumstance or experience. Probably the most neglected but common harassment is bullying. This includes unmerited criticism, isolation, gossip, responsibilities delegated but not with authority, essential information withheld, or behavior that is demeaning within the workplace or school. Children often find themselves stuck within this harassment without much help. Although knowing what harassment is, its effects on people can lead to major problems that someone has to face. Effects harassment has on a person is both mental and emotional, and can cause stress on one's health. The effects harassment vary from person to person and are contingent on the severity and duration of the harassment. If one was sexually harassed, they can suffer the same psychological effects as a rape victim. Aggravating factors can exist, such as their becoming the target of retaliation. Other forms of harassment can be being physically hurt and having to deal with the persistent dread of the next attack, which is most certain to come unless intervention is sought. A victim of harassment can turn into a misery, and the workplace, home, or school becomes a place to be avoided. This leads to feelings of demoralization and humiliation, causing loss of self-confidence and self-esteem. The person I interviewed said they experienced anxiety attacks as well as headaches, stomach pains, and nightmares. They were often paranoid and at a loss. Other effects on your health are depression and self-loathing, which breeds suicidal thoughts due to being misunderstood by the people around you. Even though it seems as if harassment leaves a person victimized and isolated, there are a variety of ways that the situation can be negated and dealt with. Proper steps to dealing with harassment and its outcome are easy to learn about and follow. Keeping yourself safe is the main priority. In the Department of Fair Employment and Housing of Sexual Harassment, the Facts About Sexual Harassment pamphlet, one can sue if harassment happens within any form during any time. One can file a restraining order if harassment becomes unbearable to deal with, while you are working, at home, or even out during errands. In the Code of Civil Procedure, Section 527B, a person who has suffered harassment as defined in Subdivision B may seek a temporary restraining order and an injunction prohibiting harassment as provided in this section. If you have been sexually harassed, it is a direct violation of Section 703 of Title VII, unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of a sexual nature. Submission to such conduct is made either explicit or inexplicit on a term or condition of an individual's employment as stated in the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Schools are even stopping harassment such as bullying by stating they have no tolerance for bullying no matter what. I want you all to remember how harassment is a growing crime in many forms, has traumatic effects on a person, and leads to various outcomes based on the steps a person takes to deal with it. No one should fall victim to any type of harassment. If anyone has ever been affected by harassment, I hope they handle the situation immediately, because it is a crime punishable by law and should never be overlooked.